dream a little bit. You're going to kind of explore it and explain it from a minimum of 2 different dream theories. And then you're going to be reflecting a little bit about why you personally think we dream. Now make sure that you pick a dream that you're comfortable sharing. You don't have to go into great detail, but I'm looking to see that you can take those theories and connect them to the dream that you had and talk about it a little bit. When you're ready to respond, you'll hit reply. Don't forget to also read through 5 of your classmates' posts and respond to one of them. Remember, as always, it's worth 15 points, 13 for your responses to my questions, and 2 for your responses to a peer. The next discussion number 6, is related to chapter 6. And this one is about learning. And I will give you a heads up that the learning chapter is probably one of the harder ones that we have in this class. There's a lot of terminology. So I tried to give you lots of examples to make it clear and to help you out. But if it's a little confusing, don't feel bad. A lot of people get confused there. And so hopefully by the time we're done covering it, you'll feel a little better. But this one, I have a little clip from The Office that you're going to watch, a very common prank with classical conditioning. And then you're going to be thinking about, how did he go through this process? How was Jim able to condition Dwight? You're going to talk about the terminology. You're going to identify the US, UR, CS, and CR in the clip. And then I want you to think about how could you use this in your life in some way? Not necessarily the Office clip, but how could you use classical conditioning in your life in some way? And make sure it's classical conditioning. If you mention rewards or punishment, you're more in the realm of operant conditioning. So make sure you kind of think about that a little bit. And as always, you'll reply to my questions and then also reply to a classmate. So like usual, you have 2 chapters to read in the book, chapters 5 and 6. And then you have 2 discussions. You do have a self-assessment, and you'll take a couple of these throughout the class. This one, what you're doing is just kind of reflecting back on the first 2 weeks. How are you feeling about your progress, your grades, your approach? This is worth 5 points. So please do take the time to do it. It's due before the end of this 2 weeks, so February 5th at 11:59 p.m. But it's going to be stuff like, let's take a look at it together. I'm doing my part to learn as much as I can. On average, this is the amount of time I've spent. I'm consistently doing the readings and turning my stuff in on time. What is your most unclear point? And thinking about your score on exam number 1. Is there anything you plan to do differently moving forward? And please be honest. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Be honest. This is your chance to reflect and kind of evaluate if you do need to change anything and what your practices are so far. Hopefully this will be something that kind of helps you as we move into the next chunk of our class, this next 2-week period of time. Okay, so those are the things to focus on for this week. Chapter 5, Chapter 6, Discussion 5, Discussion 6, and Self-Assessment number 1. I will give you the extra credit question here in a moment, but first, are there any questions for me? I do have a couple of quick reminders for you, but any questions at all for me before I do that? Let me copy this down here. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat as a quick reminder. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, February 1st. Can you believe it? Next Wednesday is February 1st at 11:30 a.m. Again, we'll stick with this day and time unless something comes up. So our next live stream will be at that time. Just a quick reminder again here in the chat, please take a moment just to make sure that you're subscribed if you're able to do it. If it's something you can't figure out or you're going to have to pay for it, it's okay. But obviously, please try and figure it out if you can. It makes my life easier and there are a lot of benefits for you as well. Other than that, let me give you the extra credit question for this week and show you where you can find this because it is kind of a specific thing. So for week number 3, your Twitch extra credit question, put this in the chat. I want you to watch a clip called The Attack of the Quack, and you're going to identify the US, UR, CS, and CR. And I do play this clip for you in the lecture video, but let me show you where you can also find this if you'd like to watch it again a little easier. So if you go to the chapter 6 lecture, and then go to the very last page on application, here's where you can find it right here. right? So this video right here is the Attack of the Quack clip. It's only 1.5 minutes, but this gives you an excellent chance to practice identifying those components of classical conditioning, which again is by far one of the most difficult concepts in this class. So it's on the chapter 6 lecture on the last page of application. So watch the little video. You can also find it in the lecture video. And then when you're ready and you've watched the video, you're ready to answer it and try and get those points, because we are in week number 3, you will go to Twitch Extra Credit number 3, click on that, and then wait. The internet's been kind of so-so. Up at the top, click Start Assignment. And then this is going to give you that text box where you can type your response. Okay, and once you've done that, you hit Submit. And it's going to give you the little confetti burst and anything else in there. Ooh, clovers or little shamrocks. That's fun. And a couple of you, just as another side note, make sure that you're always watching the right Twitch live stream. So you'll notice at the top of every live stream, there is going to be a title. And so make sure it's our class. A couple of you answered the extra credit for my research methods class. Which obviously, if the question seems a little weird, like it doesn't connect, then maybe take a double check and look at that title. But always make sure you're watching the right live stream. I do also post them on here later, which might be helpful for you. So clicked one too many times here. Sorry about that. So if you're under week number 3, what you'll see is that a little bit later I will post the recording of this, so if you always just want to double check. But for this week, it is in that Attack of the Quack video, identify the US, UR, CS, and CR. And that's something you should be able to do after going through chapter 6. So those are the big things again for this week. Work on chapter 5, work on chapter 6, discussion 5 and 6, the 5-point self-assessment, and then if you're interested, you can go ahead and answer that extra credit question. Okay, and I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you. I'm at about like 23 minutes at the moment. Again, trying to keep these to about a half hour or so in total. So what I will do is I will hang out for a little while. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. If you didn't put your name in the chat at some point, first and last, please be sure to do that so I can write it down. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Did anyone feel the earthquake? This morning, we had a little bit of an earthquake at like 2 a.m. I guess it was a 4.2 out of Malibu. I didn't feel it. I slept right through it, but my partner and my kids felt it. I was the only one. So obviously, stay safe and take care of yourselves. Kind of an interesting way to start the day. But I hope you're all doing well and hanging in there. I hope you're kind of settling into the rhythm of the class at this point. And if you do have any questions or need anything, please feel free to ask me now or reach out by email later on. Okay, so I'm gonna minimize my video just so I'm not staring at myself here. But I will hang out for a little while. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me live. I really appreciate those of you who are doing that. And I will hope to see you next Wednesday for our next live stream. Yeah, thank you too. Thank you for being here. Take care. Have a wonderful week. And I will hope to see you guys next week. See you all next week. Oh, no worries. So for the self-assessment, Joanna, you are just clicking on this and taking it. It's just your chance to reflect on your progress and grades so far in the class. It's worth 5 points. And you'll see it right here. It's under week number 3. So as always, everything you need to do for the week will be organized under that week's folder. So just make sure you click on it and you're answering questions about, how much you studied, how much time you're spending, are you going to do anything differently moving forward? And so on. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Of course, you're welcome. You too have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. A little bit more football to go before the season's over. I'm looking forward to that for sure. When did they pick so the we're down to four teams this weekend. So we have what the Chiefs versus the Bengals, and then the Eagles versus the 49ers. And so whoever wins the games this week will be in the Super Bowl. So it'll be one of two of those four teams, and then that game is usually early in February. Right, so yeah, so that's how if they decide based on who wins. So it'll be one of the two of those four teams coming up for the Super Bowl. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the halftime show. Hopefully that'll be good. Last year was so-so, right? No, last year was good. The year before was so-so. Last year was all the like the 90s rappers and stuff. Like that was pretty cool. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a good show. I love the Super Bowl for the football and also the food, of course. You too. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, it looks like I'm the only one in here, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up so that I can start the upload, download process. Have a wonderful week, and if you think of any other questions, feel free to reach out by email.